For about a year, the headlines all pointed one way. Company after company announced it. Roles cut, teams trimmed, the work would be done by AI now. Those announcements were loud, public, confident. But lately, something quieter has been happening in the same companies. The roles are coming back. The humans are being hired again. No press release this time. The layoff was a headline. The rehire is a footnote. This is the story in that gap. This is the control room. How AI is actually changing work without the hype and without the fear. The Signal. Every week. Start with the spending, because the spending was real. In 2025, businesses spent more on artificial intelligence than in any year in history. By one industry count, about $307 billion on enterprise AI, and roughly $318 billion more building the infrastructure underneath it. That second number had doubled in a single year. This was not hesitation. This was conviction written in capital. Companies believed the tool was ready to do the work. So they spent like it was, and many of them cut staff like it was too. Then, in the summer of 2025, a study landed that was hard to ignore. Researchers connected to MIT looked at how that money was actually performing inside companies. Their headline finding, 95% of enterprise generative AI pilots showed no measurable impact on the bottom line. 95%, only about 1 in 20 reached full production. Now, be precise, because the precision is the point. This measured pilots, early projects, not every use of AI everywhere. And the slice it looked at was smaller than the headline made it sound. By most estimates, only $30 to $40 billion went specifically into enterprise generative AI tools. Real money, but a fraction of that $300 billion figure, and the fraction that wasn't paying off yet. And no measurable return is not the same as failed. Some analysts pushed back on the study's sample and its framing, and that pushback is fair. But even read conservatively, the signal is the same. The spending raced out ahead of the results. You can watch that gap close in a single company. Klarna, the payments firm, leaned in early. It froze hiring for roughly a year and said an AI assistant was doing the work of about 700 customer service agents. It was the poster child for replacement. And then, by the middle of 2025, it started hiring people back. Why? Quality. Customer satisfaction slipped. The answers got generic on the questions that needed a human. The chief executive put it plainly, that they had focused too much on efficiency and cost, that the result was lower quality, and that lower quality wasn't sustainable. And the model they landed on next was not humans instead of the machine, or the machine instead of humans. It was a deliberate blend. In the company's own framing, there would always be a human there for the customer who wanted one. Notice what they did not do. They didn't abandon the AI. They put the human back in the loop and kept the tool for the simple work. One company is a story. The question is whether it's a pattern. The surveys say it is. In one 2025 study of businesses that cut roles for AI, about 55% said the decision was a mistake. Around a third had already rehired for jobs they had just eliminated. And one major research firm expects that by the end of 2026, about half of the layoffs blamed on AI will be reversed in some form. Not all of them, not a collapse, but far too many to call it a handful of exceptions. This is a measurable share of the market, quietly correcting itself. So follow the spending one more step. Why the U-turn? It isn't that the AI stopped working. It's that a pilot is not a production system. The demo that dazzled in a meeting broke on the messy, specific, real version of the job. A pilot runs in a clean room, a narrow task, a patient team, a forgiving test. Production is the opposite, the edge cases, the unhappy customer, the exception nobody wrote down. That is the gap the spending fell into. The cuts were made on the promise. The bills came due on the reality. And when companies did the arithmetic again, the cheapest answer had changed. It wasn't the human, and it wasn't the machine. It was the human and the machine. Augmentation turned out to cost less than replacement, once you counted the cost of getting it wrong. Here's the part that matters for the person watching. The roles coming back are not the same roles that left. They return changed, built around supervising the tool, reviewing what it produces, catching what it gets wrong, handling the moment it can't. For a worker, the durable position is the one running the system, not racing it. For a company, the lesson is the same in reverse. The scarce input was never compute. It was judgment. The thing the spreadsheet kept pricing at zero. So call it a reckoning if you like. But it was never AI's reckoning. It was a reckoning with our own expectations. And it arrived the way these things do, billed by the quarter. The companies that came out ahead didn't choose humans, and they didn't choose the machine. They stopped pretending it was a choice. The loud part was the firing. The quiet part, the part still happening, is everyone learning what the tool is actually for. The companies that struggled treated it as a switch, off with the people, on with the machine. The ones that came through treated it as a tool and asked the oldest question there is about any tool. Whose hand is on it and what for? You might already be living through that. This is the control room. One last thing, because it's the point of this channel. The voice you've been hearing is AI. The images were AI generated. Every figure was researched and checked by a human, and every source is named below. Disclosed on purpose. The control room. The signal. Every week. Subscribe.